So, good evening, everybody. Hopefully, you are all having a wonderful, wonderful Friday. We've got a massive game tomorrow. We could actually win another trophy tomorrow. The beat Man United twice in a season trophy. Big up to you, Claude. I hope you're well, buddy.
Well, struggling, man. I'm really struggling, and everything went on top of me this morning because what I started to remember is 12 years to this day. My mum passed away.
Oh, bless you, man.
I'm waking up this morning. I'm going to a test centre to see if I can get my COVID test, and they sent me back saying I've got too many symptoms to enter the building. So I don't. Yeah, that's bloody stupid, ridiculous.
So how are you supposed to get tested then?
Well, exactly. He said I have to go back home, go online, and call the doctor.
That's mad. Listen, if you need to bounce off at any point, mate, just go. Yeah, it's cool.
I thought I needed 5 minutes. I've been here on my own suffering, so I thought have a little conversation might cheer me up a bit, you know. Yeah.
No, I hear that, man. I hear that. Evening, Zach.
Good evening, mate. Good evening, everybody. And Claude, sorry to hear about your mum. And obviously,
memories come back. See.
Yeah. It's grief is always a difficult thing, mate. But obviously, like we're always here for you.
That memory of when she's passing away in my arms as well. It just come all on top this morning. So
we're always here if you ever need to talk, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry to hear that you're feeling rough as well, man. Like it.
Well, it's fun. It's one of them things, mate. But I feel you're getting better, and then and you go back again. It's really hitting me down.
Part of it is just psychologically staying positive. You know, try and stay positive, and that will actually help with the healing. So, I wish you all the best, getting better, mate. And
thank you.
Hopefully, the football tomorrow can distract you, and we can get a win. I'm quietly confident, but I'm sure we're going to come on to that in a bit. And look forward to it.
Right, Chig, have you got pants on today?
Brand new ones. Brand new. Wait, right. I'm going to do the whole pod like that.
Yeah. Make sure your hands are in full visibility, mate. We don't want nobody flipping it.
Keep it above sea level the entire freaking time. Just so I ain't accused of anything.
I hope you're good, man. I hope you're good.
You know what, Lee? I just want to say this, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
I know we're making a joke of that, but the hypocrisy in this fan base and on social media, the abuse that Chig has taken in the last 48 hours is unacceptable, right? It's bullying, it's childish, and people like to tweet about mental health, be kind and all this. And that's the way they treat somebody, yeah? And for me, it's unacceptable. And the hypocrisy, for me, should be called out. And it should be called out by a lot of people. Because if we all just sit back and say nothing, this is going to happen over and over again. Because there's a lot of people struggling at the moment. And we all know Chig well, yeah? And we know there was nothing intentional there at all.
Yeah.
But social media, in particular Twitter, likes to twist things, and do you know what they like to do as well? They like to stick the knife in and twist it. For me, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, and then they all play the victim when it's stuck on them, and then cry.
And some of it was just bullying. Some of it was flat out. They just wanted to see a rift between myself and Lee.
100%.
I know that's where it comes from.
Some of it was because of it being my channel.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But allow it, man. Listen, let these people chat, bruv. Yeah, they're all crying. Let them crack on. Yeah, just keep your hands up, yeah? Good evening, Kenny.
And this is also, at the end of the day, this is why I can't stand this biggest myth about the Arsenal family. What a load of bollocks. When they turn against you, they turn against me over a Tottenham thing. And they said they're part of the Arsenal family. They're a disgrace, a lot of them, all of them.
Yep. Yeah, man. Well said. Evening, Kenny. Hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, I'm all good. So I just want to say, like, in terms of your situation, you know, because we spoke about this quite a lot. Sadly, it's not going to get easier, mate. But you just have to learn. You know, each year it's going to get harder and harder, and you just have to learn to live with it as best you can. And that's the thing. You're never gonna be truly happy again after what's happened to your mum. And it's just something that people who's have lost members of their family, mums, dads, even some people lost children. You just learn to live, and that's the only thing I can advise you to do is learn to live. And unfortunately, your life is going to be at full stop in certain times of the year whilst everyone's just going on. But that's life's a bitch, mate. Life's a right bitch. Also, I want to say one thing as well is that I can't wait to the match tomorrow because Arsenal Man United is about, when I was growing up, Remy Moses against Brian Talbot, Norm Whiteside against...
You're showing your age here, mate.
Yeah, David Rocastle, Ken Vieira, Van Nistelrooy versus Keown, Sir Alex Ferguson versus George Graham, Sir Alex Ferguson versus Arsene Wenger. Arsenal Man United's always been
Brian McClare versus Nigel Winterburn.
Exactly. Yeah. The battle of 1990. Yeah. The battle of '88. It's not about
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate. That's what Arsenal Man United is about. It's not about referees between a couple of like supporters groups about their YouTube battles. It's about the football. Let's get stuck in.
Well said, Kenny.
Well said, Kenny. Well said, mate. Right, let's get straight into this. Let's come back to you, Claude. Where do you see the game being won and lost, and do you think we can win it? Because we've already done it once at their ground. They lost the other night.
We played really well the other night. We came back after the very disappointing FA Cup game and played really well. I think that, and I'm going to say this one, I think that if we pick the same, I think we should pick roughly around the same team that we picked on. Maybe because I don't think maybe I would change Louise, but I'm not sure whether Gabriel is quite back ready again. So maybe leave it there. But I would keep the. I'm not that bothered about Aubameyang not being played. I wish his mother well, but I'm not bothered about him missing the game because I think that front three can do. Saka, Pepe, and Lacazette done really well the other night, so I'm not worried about that. The big worry for me is if he plays Cavani instead of Martial. I think Cavani can cause us a lot of problems, but I have a feeling that he might help us out there and play Martial instead. But I think Cavani can cause chaos to our defenders. I don't think they'll be able to cope with him. So
I said that with Rance earlier. I said that with him. I said if they go with Rashford left side with Cavani up front, then that's a massive issue for us because Bellerin will be caught up high, Holden will have to come out, and then they've got Luke Shaw on the overlap, whipping balls in. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be hard work, and Cavani will be isolated with whoever's playing the other side of the centre backs, isn't it?
But I think what's in our favour, it seems to me Arteta over the two games that he's played against Ollie seems to have got the better of him on the two games. I don't know how, but he has. And I just feel we are. I think in this game, and I think they've seemed to me on the other night, it's like they sort of hit a wall, United. And when a good run comes to an end like that, it normally takes a while to get back into gear again. So they might go a few games where they play poorly, and I think maybe tomorrow is our chance to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they were very poor the other night. I watched the game. Sheffield United dominated them for large parts of that, and they just bullied them, really. It was like men against boys at times, and I was quite surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised in the result. I said I wouldn't be shocked if United lost because that's the league this season, isn't it? But I was shocked in how weak Man United were. They just looked like they couldn't be bothered. And it's like, boy, if you win, you go top. And they just didn't look like they had that mindset. And then as soon as the second goal went in, they just basically gave up. I don't think they're going to...
It's a bit harsh when people are saying Sheffield United are one of the worst teams ever in Premiership League history, because I think they've been a lot of games this year. They've been a bit unlucky. in a few of the games that they played this season. I think that's a bit harsh to call them the worst. I think, well, I can't think of one of the influencers said it. I can't remember who it was. He said they're the worst Premiership team he's ever seen in the Premier League. I can't. And
no. Derby were miles worse.
No, exactly. I can't understand that because I've watched them a few times and they've been unlucky in a lot of games this season. But we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. Zach, what do you think, mate? Where do you see the game being won, and do you think they'll win it?
I think in terms of team selection, I'd make 2 changes from the last game. So I'd take Bellerin and Louise out, and I'd bring Gabriel and Tierney in, switch Cedric to right back. I think that's then a good, solid back 4. Yeah. Do I expect him to make those changes? No. But it is what it is. I think I'm actually quietly confident going forward in this game. So, I think we're going to create chances. I think if he keeps the front 6, so the front 3 and then the 3 midfielders exactly the same as against Southampton, I think now they will cause United a lot of problems. I think my only concern is if he keeps Bellerin holding Louise in there, then we could be in trouble going the other way. Yeah?
Pace-wise,
yeah. So it could become a bit of a free-for-all, like you attack, we attack, and it could end up 3-2 either way. Now, if we make those changes that I suggested, we all of a sudden we look quite solid at the back, and then we can go and attack. But that's where we're at right now with Arteta. We've got to just hope and pray that he does the right things in terms of team selections. I heard that, so I think Aubameyang's out because he didn't train today.
Yeah.
But Tierney, Smith Rowe and Partey all trained. So I expect them all to be in the team. Do you know what, though? Do you know what I'm expecting him to do in terms of the back 4? I'm expecting him to keep Cedric at left back because Cedric played well, yeah? But what Arteta is probably not understanding, Cedric filled in the odd game at left back. It's a bit like Ainsley Maitland-Niles last year. Just because he has one good game there doesn't mean he's a left back, yeah? Play him at right back and get Tierney back. That's what I would be doing. But the way I can see Arteta's mind working is, Cedric played well at left back, so let's keep him there. I'm not convinced that's the right thing to do. But on a positive side of things, I think Saka, every time I see this kid play now, I'm just like, I'm in awe. He's 19 and he's so good. He is so, sometimes when you're watching certain players and you're like, how are you that good?
Imagine being 19 and being that good at football, bro.
There was this one move that he did against Southampton where he just he got the ball on the right flank and he just drifted past 2 players. I'm like, how did you even do that? I was watching it, I was thinking, he didn't do a skill or anything. He just glided past them both. And I was like, wow, this kid is going to be something else. So, by the way, Pepe was outstanding. So we got to mention that. Pepe was absolutely fantastic because, there were certain men in the WhatsApp group calling Pepe out for his lack of
shots at Kenny.
Well, it wasn't even Kenny. It wasn't even Kenny, to be honest. It was Afsal, wasn't it?
Yeah. For everyone asking in the chat, by the way, Afsal's not banned. He might be if he carries on with his Pepe slander, but he's not banned. He's actually at work. He might join in a little bit later.
The only thing with Cedric, the only thing I'll say with Cedric, if Tierney's fit, I forgot about that. If Tierney is fit, I would play him on left back and play Cedric at right. The only reason I think Cedric got away with it on the other night, and I think he looked better, is because they had 2 players. He had the comfort of those 2. Both their fullbacks were also not pushing up so much because
he had a bit more space.
Academy players, aren't they?
But he won't have that luxury against United.
Yeah, exactly. So I just feel that on that place I would play Cedric right back if Tierney's fit and play Tierney left back. But I have a feeling that that Arteta loves Bellerin so much.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think, do you know what I think will happen? Either he'll keep Cedric at left back and Bellerin will play right back, or he'll put Tierney left back and Bellerin will be right back and he'll drop Cedric. If he drops Cedric, right, that is one of the worst decisions. Because Cedric was brilliant against Southampton. Let's not get it twisted yet. Some of the balls that he was doing, like that ball for Lacazette's goal, yeah, that was outstanding. When have you ever seen Bellerin do that in his career? Like never. Yeah. So, but I'm expecting the worst, but I'm hoping for the best. But I think with Lacazette, needs to fire tomorrow. Like he needs to step up and be like, do you know what? This is probably my last chance now to impress. If I'm going to leave Arsenal, whatever, because for me he's still very much hit and miss. You know, like that chance that he had against Southampton. You know, when it was 0-0. Those are the chances that he misses all the time. And we were lucky that we came back into the game. We played really well. But remember those chances he's missed at the bridge, you know, those open
I thought he played well in the end, though. He did play well in the end. He did play well at the end.
He did play well. But for me, those chances, you see that chance that he missed, they're bread and butter for the top strikers, they're bread and butter. Those are the clinical strikers finish those with their eyes closed. And I've seen too many times with Lacazette over the last couple of years since he's joined, seen him too many times miss those. You almost expect him to miss. Yeah? You remember the one at Anfield, don't you guys? Yeah? You remember the one at Anfield when he actually scored a goal, but he also missed that one and everyone was getting on his case. And he does it all the time. But, you know, positives, let's take the positives. I think we'll win tomorrow, personally.
You mentioned Pepe there, right? I actually didn't think he had a bad game in the FA Cup because he created 3 good chances. Now,
absolutely,
he created 3 good chances. If those idiots can't put them away, right? Why should he get the blame for that? So if they strike put them away, then they're going to be calling them a hero, aren't they?
Claude, I completely agree with you, mate. Yeah, and I think it was Lee. I think it was you calling you out here. I think I watched your player ratings.
£1 for every time you called me out. So
now listen, yeah. I watched your player ratings with Chig. You were very harsh on Pepe against Newcastle in the FA Cup. No, not Newcastle. Southampton, yeah. He actually played well, as Claude mentioned. That little flick he did for Nketiah, it's not his fault that Nketiah couldn't fucking finish his dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, Pepe played quite well in that game. It wasn't outstanding, but he was a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think you gave him a 1 out of 10.
What, Pepe? No, I gave him a 5, I think. I might have given him a 1. I might have. I actually thought he was dog shit, mate. I can't lie. And you know I rate Pepe, innit? But I thought
when I was watching your play ratings, I was a bit confused because he played pretty well.
You didn't call me out in the group, Zag.
I know. I was just pissed off that we'd gone out of the cup, to be honest. But,
you can't do much more than create chances. If you're creating the chances, and they're not put away, and they're good chances, they're being created, and they're not being put away. You can't have a go at the guy that's doing it. I think that maybe it was a bit harsh, but I mean, the other night he was brilliant.
I'll tell you what, Claude, final point I make, against Southampton in the cup, if Balogun gets those chances that Eddie had, he finishes 2 out of 3 of them, right? And by the way, the other point, final point on it, Balogun's playing football tonight for the under-23s. I think
so. He ain't going to be included again.
So he's not going to be included, even though Aubameyang's out. Yeah. So that's it for Balogun. He ain't in the squad.
Man. Let me come to Chig. Obviously, we signed a new player. He's the next Messi. He's amazing. He's going to be the savior of our season, Chig. Do you think he'll be in the squad tomorrow?
Maybe. Might get 10-15 minutes. Sorry, I made a promise, didn't I? Might get 10-15 minutes. I think that I think that's how it should be. I think Emil Smith Rowe is playing well. I mean, imagine. Here's the thing, though. You do worry with Arteta. Like, he does seem like the sort of manager that would be so clueless that he'd take out Smith Rowe and put in Ostergaard just for the sake of putting in Ostergaard. But I hope he doesn't do that, because Emil Smith Rowe has earned his. And I was a bit skeptic of him. I wasn't 100% sold on Emil Smith Rowe, but the last 4 or 5 games, I'm like, okay, I see it. I can see what he does. And he's playing well, so I'd like to see him play. I agree with the fellas. I think more or less go with the same sort of side that you went with against Southampton, but put in Kieran Tierney. I think he'll play Kieran Tierney because I do think Arteta likes him. I do think Arteta rates him pretty highly.
You think he'll drop Cedric then, Jim?
I think he will drop Cedric, though. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. I think let's go for it, because I think playing United at home, we don't have the worst record against them at home.
They haven't beaten us for 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, and I like I say, I know they're top or damn near top, but I still feel like it flatters them, and I think they're just waiting to get piped. They're just waiting for a team to pipe them. Not suggesting necessarily we will be that team, but I sense that a collapse is happening with them.
I agree with Chris on that, because I think that they do rely on individual brilliance. I think in a lot of games, they've relied
That's
on.
the only thing that worries me is they've got so many match winners.
Bruno Fernandes, have I got that right, Kenny? And what's his name? And Pogba. I think they rely on players like that. I think if you took them two out of the team, I think they're quite ordinary.
Exactly.
2 players.
There's only so many times that's going to work for them. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and start saying, "Oh, Arsenal are better than United" or whatever. But I just think that their current league place flatters them. And I think both teams are
playing off the cuff football at the moment.
Yeah,
and there's no real. Even with Arsenal, there's no real pattern of play. It's just the individual brilliance have been getting and winning them games.
Yeah,
and that's how it. And we've been getting but that, as you say, that can't last long. It hits a wall at the end of the day. So
that's the thing. When they've got Bruno coming up and scoring the winner, then the next game it'll be Pogba. Then the next game it's Cavani or Rashford. We see the other night. Eventually, that comes to an end. Yeah, nobody came up and did that the other night. Yeah, and I do think that I agree with you, Chig. I think Tierney will be back in the team, and I do think Cedric could be dropped, which would be a shame really, because he has played well, but he ain't going to get back in the team over Tierney. Let's be real here. So he should be in over Bellerin, but. I don't think Ostergaard. That's what everyone's ripping you in the chat for calling him Ostergaard, by the way.
Oh, me. Odegaard.
Even I'm starting it now. Ostergaard.
Odegaard.
Odegaard. Yeah, I think you're confusing Ostersund and this player, bro.
Yeah. No, I've been spelling it Ostergaard annoyingly like all week. Just been thrown. This week I just been thrown this week.
But yeah, I do think I don't think Odegaard will be in the team, mate, if I'm honest. I know he's trained, but from what I've read on the press conference, on the transcripts, everything he was saying was like, we need to give him time. He needs time. Everything was time. So I don't think we're going to see him this weekend. And let's be real here. I don't think he'll even be in the squad. No, I don't think he would. Anyway, let me come on to you, Kenny. What do you think, mate?
Well, I think what's happened is I can't see. I'm worried about seeing not playing. So in terms of right back, I'll play Cedric because I'm like you. I'm very worried about Man United down the left hand side and the overloads. It's not just Rashford and Luke Shaw. It's Pogba as well that will create an overload. And sometimes Fernandes goes out there as well, and they'll do it at a quick pace. And I've moved the ball, 1-2s, and then Bellerin is getting no help. And then you've got a situation where Rob Holding has to come out of his comfort zone, doing what he doesn't really want to do. He's going to be coming out, and then that sort of drags their defence otherwise. One thing you guys haven't sort of discussed as well is the sort of marauding runs of Wan-Bissaka down that right-hand side. That is another avenue of attack for Man United, which they've been successful, because whether we like it or not, on the ball he's improved a lot. And that's where I'm thinking if Tierney doesn't play, I've got a bit of a dilemma at left back, because I'm thinking, right, do we keep Bellerin at right back and play Cedric Suarez there, or do we put an athlete there, play Cedric Suarez at right back, and get Maitland-Niles for this?
Kenny's gone.
Bye then, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
Kenny is gone.
Someone probably phoned him at the same time or something.
I hear what Kenny was saying about Maitland-Niles, but do you know the problem? Oh, he's back. I'll let him finish. Oh, no, he's gone.
Go on, mate.
Sorry about that. Yeah, my biggest dilemma is about the Man United down the right hand side, because that's why I think Maitland-Niles would be useful for us, because I can't see him getting bodied by Wan-Bissaka, but I can see Cedric Suarez getting bodied if Tierney's fit, which I think he's going to be. So that is a massive, massive concern to team selection. In terms of midfield, that kind of picks itself, because Xhaka, he's come to the party, and I'm not part of this silly little, let's have a little bit of a boogie because a DM has signed for us. He's gonna make us win trophies. I'm just talking about just a figurative term, and I just think midfield can kind of itself. I'm not again. I know is Smith Rowe out as well?
He trained.
Oh, he trained. So if he's a trained, then he'd be fine then. Because if he was a doubt, that's when Odegaard comes into the equation. Because I'm assuming, and I know this is only assumption. Assumptions is the biggest. I'm not going to use swear words because there's kids watching, but you know what I'm going to say. I'm assuming that if Smith Rowe doesn't play, my friend who's born in 1988, who's got the biggest afro I've ever seen since.
That word is banned on here, Kenny. That word is banned.
But all I'm trying to say is that if Smith Rowe is injured, then it's either going to be Odegaard or that guy. But I can't see that happening. But
I wouldn't be surprised if he plays Willian tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised.
Can we not talk about that guy?
You know what I think will happen, Claude? I think what will happen is that Pepe playing on the left-hand side, Saka will play on the right-hand side, because I think that's probably going to give the team a bit more balance. Because one person who I'll never have on at left back is Saka. Not a chance, mate.
Not anymore. Yeah. Now he's going forward up front. Yeah.
He's a liability. He's a liability, like a left back. No
people are comparing him to Bale now, and I can kind of see that comparison. I can kind of see what they're talking about. That kind of game.
Needs to score more goals.
Is he a good goal?
Yeah, that's the problem.
What's his golf handicap then? His golf handicap.
What's his golf handicap?
Golf handicap.
Not Bale now. Not Bale now. Oh dear.
That's jokes.
I think that's going to be a dilemma. One of the biggest things is that the worries is that hopefully we don't let Man United get on the front foot, because if we get on the front foot and keep that going for about 60 or 70 minutes, we can win the game convincingly. But if we slow the game down and play at Man United's pace, then we've got problems, because Man United ain't got a problem going at half-time 1 or 2-0 down, because we know away from home, with all their game changers, they've got enough players who can turn it around. And that's where we've got to be, where team selection has to be, spot on. We can't carry people in this game. You know what I mean? In terms, especially at the full-back situation, that's where they play their best football. And what we need to do as well is force Rashford, Cavani to come back into midfield to come and get the ball and starve them possession. If we do that, we're winning the game convincingly. But if we have a situation where Pogba, Fernandes can play those balls over the top, that's going to be a bit of a worry for me. So Xhaka and Partey really need to press and relentlessly and break their hearts. But if we do that, we can win the game convincingly.
Yeah.
David Luiz and Bellerin.
I tell you what, if Willian starts tomorrow, that TV's getting switched off. I'm telling you that now.
Come on, mate.
I'm telling you, getting switched off if he starts.
Big up to Afsal, who has joined us. He has joined us. Evening, buddy.
Hi, evening. Hope you're all well and safe.
We're very good. We're very good, mate. I see you posting out your workout routine in the group chat. Now we know the real reason you were late. You weren't working.
I was working out before, and then I was working just now.
You was working on
how's Emily? Yeah? How's Emily?
That's probably why. Because I was working out first, and then I did some work, and then now I'm free. So,
doing press ups on a bloody skateboard?
Skateboard. It was a mat. Kenny, that was my form. Oh, Kenny's gone.
Yeah. What do you make of this game tomorrow, mate?
I think we got a chance. I am pretty confident. I think, to be honest, all three results are possible. I think both teams have a chance. Both teams will be confident going into the game. We're on a run of 1-5 and drawn 1 in the last 6 league games, which is a very good run. So I don't see why we shouldn't be confident. Whereas United, apart from the game the other day, they'd won 10 and drawn 3 in their last 13 games. So I think both teams have the right to be confident going into tomorrow's game. I think, our midfield has done well in the past few weeks. The Xhaka, Partey, and Smith Rowe in midfield. I think that's looking like our best midfield, to be honest. I know we still all have our doubts about Xhaka, and rightly so, but he's played really well the last month. He's played really well since that Newcastle game in the Cup, or even the Chelsea game. So he's found form. Partey's been good since he's come up from injury, and Smith Rowe has been, obviously, ever since he's been in the team, we've not lost the game. So we're looking decent. And for me, Saka, player of our season for sure. He was brilliant the other night. He's adding goals and assists to his game. Before, he was playing great, but he didn't have that many goals to his game. Now he's adding them in, so he's growing as a player. And he's only 19, so in my opinion, he can only get better. So things are looking good, and seems like we've got a decent player in Cedric. Well, the last few games, he's shown that he can. I know he struggled the first few months, but the last couple of games, I thought he's been playing well. I don't know. Is Mari fit tomorrow? Is he? I don't know.
No, he's not. He's not trained. He's not trained. Well, he might have trained, but he's not fully ready for the game.
I would like to see him there. But
when I did the press conference the other day, he
because they pay money. If he plays one more game, they have to pay a lot of money.
Yeah, and how funny, right? I said this the other week. The first game that he didn't play, I said we won't see him again in January. Yeah, they're waiting for that little bit of money to come in. Yeah, and then they're gonna then put him back in the team and pay the £1 million.
I'm guessing he's gonna play Luiz and Holding tomorrow. I think he's gonna play Leno in goal. You know what? He might surprise us. He might play Cedric at right back.
Hopefully, because if he plays Hector Bellerin,
Cedric's gonna play right back. Then he's gonna play left back. Luiz and Holding are gonna play in the middle. Xhaka, Partey, Smith Rowe. He'll play Saka on the right, Laka centre, and you know what? He's probably going to start with Pepe tomorrow.
You got a problem with that, Afsal?
One game. I'm sure. I didn't listen to the first 30 minutes, but I'm sure Kenny already said this. One game doesn't mean anything to me.
No, Kenny hasn't said it actually.
It means consistent. For me, it's consistency.
Can I just read this comment real quick? Yeah. What a sitting on the fence answer that all 3 results are possible.
I was trying to say,
real Mystic Meg.
I was trying to say, like, if we're playing Sheffield United,
exactly.
I'd say win. I'd say we're gonna win. But you know what I'm trying to say. But anyways, as I was saying, if Pepe does it for the next 5-6 games, I'll hold my hands up. But one game for me, it's like he's done this before. Like, look at earlier in the season when he had that great game against Sheffield United.
What? You're an educated guy, yeah? You're supposed to be educated. He played very well in the cup game as well. He created
he was all right. That wasn't very well.
What more do you want him to do than create 3 match-winning chances?
The cup game, let's leave that out there. The cup game, no one was great, okay? Even
3 opportunities. If they don't put them away, that's not his problem.
No. He wasn't getting the cup game. The league game, he was good. So now he has to carry on. That's why I think Arteta will start him. If he doesn't start him, he'll start Martinelli. So you know what? It's cool if Martinelli starts. I'm not bothered.
By the way, who was that bird that was encouraging you while you were doing the press up?
That was my personal trainer. That was my personal trainer.
Is her name Emily?
No,
Is that Emily?
that was my
Jesus.
personal trainer.
Man.
As long as you're not being naughty, as long as you're not being naughty.
That was my personal trainer. But listen, okay, look, for me, Martinelli starts. I'm more than happy. I will be happy if Martinelli starts.
So you right? Let me just get this clear, Afzal.
Yeah.
Pepe scores a goal. Yeah, plays really well. You'd be happy if he's dropped. Yeah. Let's just. Be
I just said I'll be happy if Martinelli starts. Wouldn't you be happy if Martinelli starts?
All right. So you'd be happy if Pepe was dropped, right?
No, I said even if Pepe didn't start.
Okay. Asa, let's put it in simple terms, right?
Yeah.
Give us your front four for the game.
Yeah. Give us your front four.
Honestly, my front four, personally speaking, it would be Smith Rowe, Saka, Laka, and Martinelli. But Pepe would play. Yeah, that would be my.
By the way, this guy, Afzal, you said to me, Xhaka had one good game the other day. Yeah, you said you can't drop Xhaka. He's just played really well. Pepe's just dropped an 8 or 9 out of 10. You've just dropped him.
Okay, first of all, Xhaka has had 5 good games. Xhaka's had 5 good games.
You make no sense. No, but this was 4 or 5 games ago. This was
Xhaka had 5 good games. That's why he's in my team.
No, this was 4 or 5 games ago, Afzal.
Huh?
It makes no sense at all.
No, listen, Xhaka has had 5 good games in a row. So that's why he's in my team.
No, mate, I'm talking about 5 games ago. Xhaka had 1 good game, the first out of his good games. Yeah. You said, why would you drop Xhaka after a good game?
No, I said it after 3 games.
No, you've just dropped Pepe after a good game and he scored a goal as well.
Listen, right? The way I look at it is, okay, Zach, would you start Martinelli tomorrow?
No.
Okay. Would you have a problem if he starts? Be honest. Of course not.
I wouldn't have a problem, but if you're saying to me you drop Pepe after he's just scored a goal, played really well, what is that going to do for his confidence?
And by the way, didn't he score against this lot last season?
Yeah, that was his best game in an Arsenal shirt against Man U last season. That's what I'm saying. Look, for me, it doesn't, like, for example, if I see Pepe starting in that team tomorrow, I ain't going to moan. If I see Martinelli starting, I ain't going to moan. But preferable choice, it would be Martinelli. But I don't mind who starts. So just get this on the career.
Right.
I don't mind who starts, but preference choice, yes. But yeah.
Tim Foyle Arsenal says these two always battle, bruv. You should see our group chat. It's a mess. It's just always them two going back.
Listen, it was only 2 years ago. This guy was putting Saka as left back in his team. Remember? He was putting Saka as left back in his team a couple of weeks ago, my man.
Don't worry, bruv. We can put Zach Medley there.
Medley, exactly. Medley, man. Medley.
Let me come back to Claude. Claude, there's a story doing the rounds from David Ornstein suggesting that Maitland-Niles is going to Southampton or West Brom. Arsenal's choice is Southampton, but it's obviously down to the player as well. What do you think? Where do you think it's all gone wrong for Maitland-Niles? Because he was a go-to guy before Bellerin got injured. After Bellerin got injured at right back. We all remember him setting up Aubameyang at the Mestalla to get us into Baku. I think that was Aubameyang sliding in, tapping it in the bottom corner, and he was up and down that right back position for weeks and weeks and weeks under Emery. Then Arteta come in.
I'm going to drop off, mate, because I'm really struggling now with this.
No, go on, mate. Go and get some rest, mate. I appreciate you coming on, man. Go on, mate.
Have a great weekend, everyone, and
take care, Claude.
Fingers crossed that Abdul doesn't get his way as far as the team selection is tomorrow.
What's wrong with that? Listen, I've said a nice team which 95. You guys would pick 90% of that team.
He's gone. We're going to Zach. What do you think with Maitland-Niles, man?
You know what? Yeah.
Thank you, Claude. By the way, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's good of Claude to come on when he's feeling ill. But with Maitland-Niles, I've almost given up on it now because at the beginning, when Arteta first came in, Maitland-Niles was playing absolutely brilliant at right back, yeah? And he dropped him as soon as his son came back from injury, right? So that's the history behind it. Since then, he's never had a run of games at right back ever again. He's been shoehorned into left wing back left back, right wing back, midfield. He had one game. He was put in midfield again in the Europa League. He played brilliantly, by the way. Yeah, it was the Europa League, but you can only beat what's in front of you, right? And he was never played in midfield again, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, if you're not going to play him, let him go. Let him go and play football. Yeah. I wouldn't even loan him, mate, because if Arteta's going to be in charge for next season, he's not going to play Ainsley, is he? Let's face it, yeah?
Might as well flog it. We could have sold him to Wolves, mate, and we kept it.
Yeah, could have, mate. But there's no point in loaning him now, yeah? Because just cash in on him, right? If you don't rate him for whatever reason, and I've got my theories on why he doesn't rate him, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But, right, if you don't rate him, sell him. Let the kid go and play football. He might get into the England team or the England squad for the summer. And then just let him go and play football. He wanted to leave in the summer, right? Arteta got on his knees and begged him. Then he's never played him again since. He's played like
since he came out and said something about Mesut Ozil, saying that he's my friend, I'm behind him, and I support him. Since then, I think he's started one game.
But for me, it's really bizarre because if you look at those games that Ainsley had at the beginning of Arteta's reign, he had about 8 or 9 games in a row where he was solid, yeah? Bellerin's never done that for Arteta, ever. Bellerin's had 8 or 9 games when he's looked an absolute shambles. Can we sit here and say that Bellerin's even had 2 good games in a row? I can't even remember.
Yeah, but this is the thing, Zach. We have different standards to most of the people rating how a good game is. Like, I'll give an example. Hector Bellerin puts a couple of good crosses in the box the other night, yeah? And we win the game. Not that he affected it in any way, shape, or form, whether it was going forward or going backwards. Yeah, I think I gave him a 6. Yeah, because I didn't notice him on the pitch other than a couple of crosses that he probably mishit, which is why they were good crosses, right? When Hector Bellerin puts an assist on a plate for Saka, that one assist for certain people out there would eradicate the rest of the
whole game.
Yeah, because he got an assist. And that's what you're dealing with.
But mate, what was that game where Maitland-Niles actually started at right back and then he got that penalty? No, was it the one when he won the penalty for us?
Was it Villa? It weren't Villa. No, it weren't Villa.
And he started, didn't he? Right.
I can't remember. No
one talks about that, yeah?
But this is the thing, Zach, right? When for me, like we've been speaking about Wan-Bissaka earlier, yeah? Wan-Bissaka and Maitland-Niles similar to me. I know they're totally different, like body sizes and shapes and stuff like that. But for me, Wan-Bissaka is probably one of the best defensive right backs, if not the best defensive right back in the league. Going forward, I think he's pretty average. Yeah. Right. Although he is improving this season, he's getting a lot better at taking people on and trying to get a ball in the box. For me, Maitland-Niles is in that bracket. Put Maitland-Niles there. They're about the same height. They're both quick.
Mate, I agree.
Maitland-Niles is a bit more physical, but I think if you had a proper coach with Maitland-Niles, he would be the ideal size, shape in terms of like body.
I completely agree.
And technical ability that they could both. He could basically get up to Wan-Bissaka, is what I'm saying.
Do you know what it is, mate? I've given up on the conversation around Ainsley now because it's like banging your head against a brick wall. Arteta's not going to play him. Let's just let him go. Just sell him. But
why do you think we rejected the money from Wolves? What was the conversation process of rejecting a £20 million or 16 million, whatever it was for Wolves? What did Arteta say to him to say, or maybe the player said no? I don't know. Maybe the player didn't want to go Wolves. Although you would think that he would, seeing that his cousin, who now plays for Aston Villa, used to play for Wolves.
Lee, honestly, mate, I've given up trying to rationalise any kind of thought process around Arteta or Edu because you can't, mate. Because we sold Martinez for 16 million, right? But we reject 20 million for Eddie Nketiah. Like, how does that even make sense on any planet ever to have existed? It doesn't, yeah? Especially when Martinez had just fucking dropped 10 games in a row that were flawless. If Eddie Nketiah fucking even gave us 2 games in a row, yeah, we'd be happy. But I don't know, mate. So I wouldn't even bother trying to rationalise the thought process.
How much do you think we can get for him? Because obviously his contract's getting less and less the longer we leave this. Yeah, we had a bid from Wolves for what, 20 million? I think it was 20.
I still think we could get 20 million for him.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Where do you think he's going to end up? West Brom or Saints? I think he'll go Saints.
He goes on loan. I think he'll go Southampton, and we might get Bertrand in return.
It was the Everton game you were on about where he got the penalty.
Everton, yeah. That was it.
See, the chat's undefeated, bruv. They know everything about everything.
They know everything, mate. I couldn't remember, to be honest. I think we played shit in that game anyway, didn't we? But if he goes to Southampton, Ainsley, then we'll get Bertrand as cover for Tierney.
Bertrand won't come. He's a starter in Southampton. He wouldn't come to be on the bench.
Mate, he's got 6 months left of his contract. I don't know. And think about it. If Bertrand's going to come here, they've got cover then, haven't they? Ainsley.
No, they don't. They've got that. Oh yeah, they've got Niles. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Well, let me come on to Chig. What do you think of this whole Maitland-Niles situation? Because to me, it's just weird, bruv. Like, if you don't want the geezer, why don't we sell him in the summer? And instead of using Emi Martinez as we got Thomas Partey because we sold Emi Martinez. Yeah, but if we had sold Eddie Nketiah and Maitland-Niles, we probably would have got Awara as well.
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
I mean, you know my thoughts. For me, I'm kind of similar to where Zach is. I'm just at the point where I'm done bitching about this situation now. It's a shame because I think every time he looks like he's about to make progress, he's then taken out of the team. And then when he's suddenly put in the team, all of a sudden people are wondering why he looks so poor. Well, he's unfit, doesn't play any games. He treats him like this, he treats him like this side chick that he never wants to ever see, and only has to see when he wants to get his end away. And that's me
experience there, mate.
I'm saying, everyone's had a side chick like that. Let's be real. Yeah. So I think for me, it was getting to the point where I was getting annoyed with him because for me, I thought to myself, you should have more pride for your. Forget the fact you love the club. I love Arsenal. If I was in your fucking position, though, I'd want to play football. Fuck that bullshit. So for me, I think Southampton would be a great club for him to go to. They're a good side. They've got a great manager who I think will improve him. So if I'm him, I would want to go there and just continue to learn his craft. And, if it is, decide what position he wants to play as well, first and foremost. Don't be a Walcott. If it's a central midfield, then go and develop your game into that position and don't compromise it for anyone. And then let's see what happens in the summer. If he goes, I'll be gutted, but 20 million will comfort me. And we can use that to improve the squad. So, yeah, that's kind of where I stand.
What about you, Kenny?
I think the Maitland-Niles thing, it's been, just to be honest, I think his Arsenal career has been defined for him from when he first got on the side under Arsene. The minute we played him at, left back, and we started playing at right back, I think that was his Arsenal career in in 2 games. And Unai Emery used him at right back for most of the season. So his preferred position, midfield, there was no pathway for him because we kept on signing. We had Xhaka, we had all these players like Anelli, Ozil, that packed midfield. And at right back, he's only ever going to be a squad player. So I agree with a lot of the guys. It's a shame, but he's never been given the opportunity to make any position his own. And basically, his preferred position, as I said just now, it's the door's been shut on him. So to be honest, he's now an English international. And if you asked me at the beginning of the season, who would you have sold? He would have been on my list to sell so we can get some money for him because he's never going to be anything other than a squad player. Doesn't matter whether Mikel's manager, whether Unai's manager, or maybe we get a future manager. I can't envisage a future manager looking at Maitland-Niles and saying, this guy is going to be in my first 11.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And you've got to ask yourself a question. Forget about the cameo appearances. We've got to be honest with ourselves. Is he Arsenal level? Is he the player who's going to take us to the next level? Yeah, he's going to play well.
He's levels above El Neni for me.
Yeah, but say he's levels better than Nelly. But
he's also levels above Bellerin.
Yeah, but you say that. But what we're saying, guys, is that we're saying that players like the players in the squad, with the exception of about a couple, aren't Arsenal level. So if Eighton Lales is levels on their same level, or just a little bit levels above those players, then he's not the level that we want anyway. So I'll cash in. It's a shame, but the utopia for me, I'm looking at teams like Man City. I'm looking at teams like Liverpool. I'm looking at Chelsea's squad. And I'm looking at the potential that Man United have got. And I'm thinking, I want better than Maitland Knowles. I'm looking at the facilities we have at the football club. Everything is ready for success. Everything's ready. All we need is probably a chairman with more ambition, a director of football, someone who's other than they do behind the scenes, and a proper coach. We're flying, mate. We're flying. Everything's in place. All we need right now is to get players on the level of our rivals. That is the utopia. Don't get me wrong. We still have to find a way to get the top 4 with this squad, and I'm not giving up because that is the intro of Mikel Arteta. I know a lot of people now who are fully behind Arteta are saying, "Oh no, this squad's too strong. We can't get in the top 4." So you're being a bit ambitious, Kenny. Let's, if you have to be a bit patient.
But it's only based on what the manager said, Kenny. When the manager got the job, he said we should challenge for a title regardless of our squad.
Yeah, and that's it. And the chief executive said the same thing as well. So it doesn't matter whether trust the process merchants are saying, are making excuses and saying even Leicester's got a better squad than us. Yeah, they have on paper, but we still can beat them. Leicester didn't have the best squad, when they won the league in 2016. I don't think Chelsea had the best squad in 2017 when under Conte, but they still kicked the ball down.
I don't agree that Leicester have got a better squad than us, by the way.
But if you look at the team makeup, you look at the manager. There is a plan and there's a passion to play.
They've got a better manager.
We see Chelsea the other night, right, with a manager that had just landed in the country less than 24 hours before that game kicked off, had 1 training session and 2 meetings. Yeah. And I think that their style of play was already implemented in that first game.
Exactly.
Yeah? And look how many quick one-touch passes. I have never seen Chelsea in the last 4 years pass and move the way they did the other night. Yeah, I know they didn't win the game, but I could see a style straight away. I knew they would run around and press, so I weren't looking at that.
You want to talk about style? Talk to Aftel.
Ping, ping, ping,
Yeah,
ping.
but
why don't we do that? Yeah, we've had this league for 13 months. I don't know what his style of play is.
Exactly, and that's the thing, Zach. On a serious level, obviously Aftel says he likes his style, and that's a meme that is never Aftel's. That's going to be an Aftel's gravestone. I like his style. But when you hear people who are firmly behind Mikel saying that he's changed things and there's been an improvement, there's a style of play, that's got to be the biggest myth as well. He's got.
But you know what it is, though, Kenny? Do you know what it is when people say shit like, "Oh well, Arsenal got the second best defensive record in the league." So clearly we're defending better. These are the sort of bullshit. This is the sort of bullshit narrative that Arteta is wanting.
Yeah. Now tell us the stats for goals scored and where we are sitting in that one.
Yeah.
Well, we're not very high.
Worst Premier League in my lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what does that even mean to be the second best defensive?
Yeah, but Zach, is it the worst Premier League? Because at the end of the day, when Liverpool running about
it is.
But
Name a worse.
Let me ask you a question. One more question though. People, you've got to ask your question. What do people want? They say it's the worst Premier League this season because West Ham are in 4th place. Yeah.
No.
Was it a great Premier League last season when Liverpool were running away with it? Was it? No, let me finish. Was it a great Premiership 2 years ago when Man City and Liverpool were running away with it? When I see the great Premiership, all we're seeing is that the teams are getting stronger because guess what? The money available to these clubs now, they can stick 2 fingers up. Let's say 1 minute, one full point. They can stick 2 fingers up to every club right now and say, "No, you're not having that player. If you 80 million for Grealish, no, go and do one. Go and jump in the River Thames. We need him because we want to get in Europe." Every club can say that because the teams are getting stronger. That's why I disagree when you say the league is the worst league ever. I don't agree with that.
When I say this is the worst Premier League in my lifetime, what I mean by that is in terms of overall quality, there's not even a standout team. Like when you reference Liverpool's great winning title team last season or whatever, you still had a team who was unbelievable. They will go down in history as one of the best Premier League teams ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you take it as a whole, I look at this Premier League this season, and I think the quality's poor. We haven't even got one or two outstanding teams. As a whole, I think it's average quality. The strikers are poor. The defenders are poor. I mean, I can't
Defenders
remember.
can't defend anymore. That's the point.
Yeah,
They can't
I
defend.
can't, honestly, I
They're
cannot
not allowed
remember
to, they're not allowed
worse.
to go.
I cannot remember a worse Premier League season in terms of overall quality. That's just my opinion, and so I don't think it's any big great shape saying, "Oh, we're the second best defensive record in the league," because this league's a shambles this year.
Mate, go and watch. I've watched a lot of Premier League football in the last couple of months, as I'm sure all of you lot have been in lockdown as well. Yeah, right. The standard of crossing in this league is shit. Yeah, the standard of defending is shit. And I know you just said they're not allowed to. Bro, I see a great tackle the other night. Yeah, and it was the first great tackle I've seen for fucking months. Can't remember what game it was. Yeah, and I think it was the what was the game before the game last night? Who played Wednesday night? Man United, Sheffield United. That was it. Yeah, Man United, Sheffield United. Yeah, Man United were romping away. They're 3-on-2, and out of nowhere, yeah, the guy, I think it was Jagielka. Rashford skipping away. Yeah, and he banged the ball out, walked out of defence with the ball. I was like, that was fucking top draw. And you don't see that often enough in the Premier League. So, like, I know it's, you touch him now, it's a foul, but he can still defend properly, and he's about 40. Right?
Yeah,
then when you look at the passing,
the
passing shit. People can't even pass 5 yards, mate.
All right, I agree with one thing. In terms of dead ball situations with free kicks, I look at it and I'll go, right, let me get the sort of the bacon crisps out, man, and get me Ribena and think, right, I'm going to see a classic. Let me get the video out. And let me see if I can see this go in the top corner. Every time I get the video out, I go, why did I bother? And I do get that to a certain extent. But if you speak to a West Ham fan, they're thinking, you know what? This is the best season we're ever going to have. We're a solid team, we've got a bit better, and we're taking advantage. For them, it's a great league because they're closing the gap. And I think...
but Kenny, this is where I disagree, right? Yeah, Arsenal's squad against West Ham's squad, there's levels, yeah. Even though I think we've got some shit players, we're miles better than them in terms of squad depth and total squad. Yeah?
We should be.
Apparently, our manager's miles ahead of them, right? And apparently, all of our players in our starting 11 are better than theirs. So how the fuck are they fourth? Yeah. And we're ninth?
The reason why they're fourth is because simple reason is that
because the league's shit.
They've got a plan.
The manager at our club shit.
Yeah, you say that, but but if you all the teams that we're talking about. Leicester and West Ham, the common denominator is a pattern of play and a recognisable pattern of play, which the players understand and where everyone knows their jobs. It's not off the cuff when you watch West Ham play. It's so off the cuff when you watch Leicester play.
And how can he do that, Kenny, when he got the job 9 days after this manager got the job at Arsenal?
You've got to realise, right? It's, at the end of the day, you've got to, in football, it's the truest thing in football is. And it's same with your workplace. You can give people as much information as you like. You can draw a picture, have one-on-ones with them. But if they can't take it in, then they can't take it in. It's simple as that. Even the guy with the most talent whatsoever, who's got explosive skills, great pace, he's got technically better than Saka, doesn't mean that player can take in the information because he's still lost on a football field, even though technically he's levels above Saka and Smith Rowe. That's just my opinion. But he's an example of what I'm talking about. And we have a lot of those players where they don't simply take in information. And that's why, obviously, the manager's at fault because of his tactics. Maybe are not too complicated. But when you see so much off-the-cuff football and then you see a bit of an organisation in the same match, that's why West Ham at the moment are doing better than us, and that's why Leicester are doing better than us, just because everyone knows their jobs. And I think until we, you know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. Like, so basically, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, they're more experienced managers, so they've got a game plan and they've executed their game plan to what players they have. We've got an inexperienced manager that's trying to do shit with players that he can't do. That's why we're known.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, we've got an inexperienced manager that's never had to come up with a game plan.
And also, isn't that part
Yeah.
of the manager's job
Yeah.
to understand what players can take instructions and what players are not good enough? This is the whole point, is that Arteta can't figure out after how many games Bellerin's played, or Willian. Yeah, Willian's played 20 games. He's had 2 shots on target in 20 games, yeah?
21
if he,
now, because he came on the other night.
21 games. If he can't figure out that Willian is dog shit, then he's never a football manager, is he? What is he?
But some managers are stubborn though. Some managers are stubborn.
Yeah, but
I've seen a lot of players being used repetitively because even a manager thinks, well, the things he does off the ball that I'm seeing in the crowd.
Willian is weak as fuck as well, you know that.
Yeah, do you know what though? Kenny's right though, Zach, right? Because Thomas Tuchel came in the other night and dropped all of Lampard's pets, every single one of them.
You saw my bit on Twitter, didn't you, Lee?
Yeah, I think I liked it. It. But yeah, he did. He dropped all of his pets.
Yeah, but that's different.
I actually personally think Mason Mount's been their best player this season, so I was shocked to see him dropped.
Yeah, but is Mason Mount Chelsea level? Is he the player that's going to take to the next level? That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know.
Willian, I don't
know. He's a good player, though. He is a good player.
Saying, but do you remember that time when Chelsea were going for difficulties? You know, remember that when Leicester won the league and Chelsea down tools, Willian was their best player. But it doesn't mean he was Chelsea's level. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes when you're going, when you're in a sort of transition, there's always going to be a player that is going to surpass himself. But it doesn't necessarily mean that player is the sort of player that's going to get you success, because he may not be the level. You know what I mean? He's just a hard.
No, I get what you're saying.
Mason's not that player.
The thing is, I just look at it and I just think, like, you know, you've got a manager coming in. He's been in the country 24 hours, and I can see a style of play inside one game, one training session. This guy's been here 13 fucking months. He's an elite level coach. Well, there you go, and that is why I didn't want to.
Sorry. I know Chelsea fans watch this. Sorry, Chelsea fans, but Lampard deserved the sack for the club.
100%.
For the club,
100%.
Because of the club of your expectations, he wasn't getting Chelsea results. He didn't know his best team. He didn't know his best formation.
Didn't have a style of play. Exactly the same as Arteta.
He deserved the sack.
In fact,
I'm surprised he was sacked earlier.
Let me come to Afsal quickly on this Maitland-Niles one before I get some score prediction. I'm going to have to wrap this up soon, by the way. Next 5-10 minutes or so, yeah. But Afsal.
Yeah, I think that I guess he's not getting enough game time. So for his own sake, I think it's best that he does leave, to be honest. End of last season, he got a few games. I thought he played very well as a left back or left wing back. And then this season, he's hardly got the game time. So for his own sake, it's probably best that he does go. Even if he does stay, it's not going to make much of a difference to us, because I don't think Arteta will pick him in that starting 11, because now at right back, you've got Bellerin and Cedric there as his first choices. And left back, obviously, you've got Tierney. So if Tierney obviously does get injured, then that is a big worry, because then Maitland-Niles could play there. So that's the worry. But Maitland-Niles won't get any first team game time unless there are injuries in this team. So, yeah, it does make sense that he goes probably by the end of this transfer window, because obviously he's been getting in the England squad the last 2 times. Yeah. So it's now, I don't think he'll get in the Euro squad. I know Southgate was just trying different players out and stuff, but he got in the last 2. So if he wants to get in that England squad, he'll need regular game time. So for his, like I said, he will have to move on for his own sake in getting in that England squad. And one more thing regarding when Zach was saying the league was poor, I get where he's coming from, but you got to remember, this is a league where now the smaller teams, as Kenny said, have upped their game. They've got money to spend, and anyone can beat anyone. Like, look at this season. This season just shows we've had all the bottom teams get great results. Look at, for example, Sheffield United against Man U, West Brom against Liverpool, Fulham against Liverpool, and Fulham drew against Liverpool. They drew against Tottenham. Aston Villa have had a few great results, 7-2 against Liverpool. You know, there's teams at the bottom which you just can't call it. Like 5 years ago, you see a game, just say Man U versus face Sheffield, and you know United would win. But now it's just
Afsal, that's sorry to interrupt you, mate.
you don't show up. If a top team doesn't show up, they're in trouble.
Afsal, that's my point, though. Yeah? When you have top teams of the past, the top United teams, the top Chelsea, City, Arsenal teams, these smaller teams, they wouldn't even have a prayer against them.
Yeah, it'd be 3-0 before half time.
Ferguson's United would eat them for breakfast at Old Trafford.
It's true.
They'd hammer them 5-0 every game. Yeah?
Agree, but Zach, also
the point is, Arsenal are shit right now. Spurs are not great. United are not great. City are not great, and Liverpool are not great.
Yeah,
that gives the chance to like the likes of Leicester, Villa, West Ham.
If you just like this table speaks for itself. You've got Leicester in 3rd, you've got West Ham in 5th, you've got Everton in 6th, you've got Southampton.
So you're agreeing with me.
Villa in 11th with games in hand. You've got Leeds in 12th. I mean, some of the results that these clubs that I've listed have pulled off this season have been wild. Like Leicester went.
But what's your point? Do you agree with me or not?
No. What I'm saying, Zach, is the smaller teams have now got money to spend, so they're improving their squads.
The smaller teams have had money to spend for years.
No, I mean they've got more now, and that's maybe one of the reasons why the big clubs are now struggling when they play the smaller clubs. Because
I don't agree. How much did Leicester and West Ham? How much did West Ham spend?
Villa spent a lot. Villa spent.
How much did West Ham spend last year?
They spent a bit. They spent like
Tottenham spent less than us in the summer.
Yeah. I'm just saying they spent more than usual. Like West Ham spent. How much did they spend on Haller? 30 million. Yarmolenko 30 million, something like that. They've spent and it's paid off for them. Like good on them. It's paid off for them. So it's just
far better manager as well.
But Zach, it's also a freak season where teams are getting more injuries than they usually do. Obviously, with COVID around, unfortunately, players are getting out of. Just say some players are missing because of COVID. Also, no fans could play a factor. So that's why when
I agree.
Anyone can get a result against anyone. It's one of those freak seasons where, for example,
which is why I'm so pissed off that we didn't have a proper manager. Otherwise, we'd be up near the top now.
It's one of those things where West Brom could play Man U and get a draw. It's just one of those seasons.
All right, let's wrap this up because I need to finish this in the next 5 minutes, hopefully. Afsal, score prediction for tomorrow.
It's a tough one. I'm going to be my heart saying, my head saying, sorry, 1-1.
You sound like R. Kelly, bruv. Just get to the point.
My head saying 1-1. 2-1 Arsenal. I have to say an Arsenal win against.
I love you, Afsal.
You know what? I'm not saying 2-1, but I think it'll be 1-1. 1-1.
Chig?
3-1 Arsenal.
Oh, nice. Zach?
Yeah, I agree. 3-1 Arsenal.
Kenny?
1-1. Man United have got too many game changers and they're going to be playing their proper team. They're not going to be lopsided like they were on Wednesday. And you'll find that they'll be more cohesive, and that will make them difficult to beat. And please don't let them get the first goal and get their foot in, because it'll be a long night if they get the first goal.
First goal is crucial.
Listen, just a quick thing. They've got some great players in that team. Pogba, Fernandes, Rashford, Cavani. They are dangerous. On their day, that team are dangerous. They have got some very good, great players, world-class players on that team. I know people will say, it's not the Man U of the late 90s and the early 2000s, but this Man U squad is probably their best squad in the last 7 years. So, if we get a win tomorrow, then you have to give the team and Arteta credit if we do get a win tomorrow.
And on that bombshell, big up to everyone who came over from Dammy's stream as well. Appreciate that, man. Do appreciate that. Let's pin some of these comments real quick for the scores. Chig's link for his channel is in the description. Same with Claude's channel. That's there as well.
I'll be doing a preview on the game tomorrow morning with Ola and Will. So do check that out.
And Kenny and Zach's Twitter is in the description as well. So make sure you go and follow all the guys. Big up to everyone who came over from Dammy's stream as well. Appreciate that massively. There isn't anybody I like that's live right now, so find somebody that I don't like.
Just out of interest, who is live right now? Just out of interest.
I don't know. I just searched. Nobody I follow is live. So yeah, I'm live, but nobody I actually. Nobody I subscribe to. In fact, hang on 1 second. 1 second. Let me just double check because I don't want to ruin myself and then get that clipped as well.
You're gonna get that. They're gonna clip you, Lee. You know, and then there'll be more. You know,
Turkish is live.
controversy.
Yeah, no, Turkish ain't live. I don't think. Right? No. See, that's what I'm saying. My subscription feed's filled up with nobody that's live. So yeah.
All right.
Lee, I think that you collaborators have got a little deal there. Don't let's go at the same time. So little deal there, little backhanders in it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Turkish is going live in 3 hours, 3.5 hours. But other than that, yeah, we're mate. At the end of the day, the way I see it, yeah, why should it just be one person that has the thing? You know, there's loads of people's opinions out there. Shouldn't just have to be one place or one channel you go to or one Twitter account you go to. This has got 3 billion users a month on it, Kenny.
Lee, I second that. I've been on so many podcasts over the years, and I know enough now to know which podcast I'm suited to, which I'm not, and that's why I'm sort of very reluctant to go on certain podcasts because I know their audience will hate my guts.
Especially ones that claim they're for the fans and then mug them off.
Oh no, they love me on that one. But I'm talking about.
Yeah, you actually got good feedback on that one. To be fair,
I'm talking about the ones who want to see themselves as the thinking man's Arsenal fan, who want to see themselves as
Kenny. Kenny, how's the same old Arsenal podcast? You still going?
I love them. Well, actually, it's a hit and miss because Dan is one of the best guys on there. I love it a bit.
Yeah, Dan's down.
Dan seems cool. He does.
You know, Dan. Let me say that.
He does seem cool.
I'll walk on broken glass for him because he's always asking me how I am. We're always chatting about football, asking my opinion. I'll go on his show anytime he needs me, and it's possible because that's the thing. If people, I like to work with people who are nice people. I don't like to work with people who I think that not nice. Because at the end of the day, John Lyle says it's more important to be nice than nice to be important, and he was bloody right.
There you go. Kenny giving us history lessons again. Nice one, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, make sure all you fuckers in the chat have taken that in as well. And I'll be back again tomorrow with a watch along. I'll start about 4:25. Chiggy Chig will be joining me. He will have Hanson.
I'll make sure I have a bash display. I'll make sure I have a bash beforehand.
Chig, I've got some Arsenal tracksuit bottoms. I'll send them over to you by.
Thank you.
EFL or something. Arsenal tracksuit bottoms.
But yeah, and big up to you, Zach and Afsal as well. Appreciate you all coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
And we're going to wrap this up. But tomorrow 4:30, I'll be back again. Well, 4:25. It'll probably be about 4:30 when I go live. And we'll dissect this as it's live. And the game is on Sky Sports tomorrow, I believe. Failing that, VIP League. So go and check that out as well. But all have a wonderful evening. I will be back again at 9 o'clock with Grizz from LFC Day Trippers. So make sure you come and check that out. And we're going to talk about Liverpool. We're going to talk about Arsenal. We're going to talk about football in general because that's what we do here, mate. We don't need to sit and chat shit. We just talk about football. And we're out of here. Laters, peeps.
Laters.